Warning, what I'm about to show you is going to completely change the way you think about productivity. I used to be one of those weird productivity bros that tried all the apps, bought all the things, went to seminars. I just thought I had it going on. The truth of the matter is, most of that was a waste of money. What I'm going to tell you right now is going to cost you nothing. The most expensive thing I'm going to tell you to buy is probably going to be a cup of coffee. But let's dive in because I got a lot I want to throw at you. Now, first of all, these are not in any order. Second of all, you're going to need to adjust these in order to work the way they work for you, but these are mostly foundational, and because they're foundational, I know they will work for just about anybody, and these are tried and true, not just by me, but by many, many people all around the planet who are highly effective. Welcome to Nice to Know, Nice to Have November. This is the series where I talk to you about the things I wish I knew, and I wish I had when I started my content creation journey. Now, as we round out the last couple of days of this series, I want to talk to you about just getting better at getting it done. And a lot of it has to do with having these things in place. The first thing that you're going to need is buy-in. You're going to need buy-in from your friends. You're going to need buy-in from your family. And most of all, you're going to need buy-in from yourself. When I first started this, I think I would always just kind of tap my toe in, test the water, tap my toe in, test the water, because I hadn't really bought into the fact that it was possible to become a full-time content creator. Once I bought into the capability or the possibility, I dove all in and it was good. Now, here's the funny thing about it. Once I dove in and my friends and family could see that I was serious about this, they automatically bought in. Now, a lot of people, when you first start your content creation journey, you say, I'm going to make this YouTube channel. Your friends will laugh. Your family will laugh. They're not laughing at you. They're laughing with you because they know the 17 other thousand serial entrepreneur type things that you've tried.
Avon calling.
They remember the Amway circles. They remember the meetings and you got to buy this, you got to try this and the essential oils and all the stuff that you were into. But once they see you working on your business and working at a pace that looks like you're getting somewhere, they will buy in. Now, if you're brand new to this, cool. You don't have that baggage, cool. You're lucky. Just go in and tell them, listen, people, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask you to respect my time. And because they love you, they will absolutely respect your time, and they will absolutely support you. The next thing we're going to talk about is boundaries. Now, this is a big one. When it comes to taking time away from yourself, what you have to do is give yourself $1 per hour minimum. Now, if you're just starting out, I want to make this almost painful for you by saying, let's say it's $100 an hour. So when someone says, hey, let's go do this thing that's going to take you away from doing what you need to be doing, you got to act like you're losing $100 an hour to go do that. Now, I know you might not be at a level where you're earning that yet, and you might earn more. If that's the case, raise the number up to where you are. But you want to set those things to yourself. So, for instance, one of the things that I instantly took out of my time and space was time for useful, mindless conversations about weird stuff. Like my friends would want to call and talk about, something they saw on TV. And I'll be like, yeah, I can't do this right now. We'll get together on a particular time. Then you can book that in your calendar and go hang out with them. So I used to tell them that I could come and help you fix this toilet, but I want you to know that this is costing me $150 an hour. And they'll be like, what? That's more than a plumber. And I'll be like, no, I don't know what kind of plumber you have, but yeah. So I can come and help you, but understand I should be working on my business. And right now, this is what it's going to cost me. And they got better at not bothering you for simple things. Those phone calls about the random stuff, they just kind of go away. Okay. Now, another thing about your boundaries is you're going to need to respect your non-negotiables. Now, I want you to hold that because as we get to that section later, you'll understand what I mean. But you need to absolutely respect your non-negotiables. And in order to make this work, you're going to have to respect your time and respect your worth. So which is why I say you should tack on an hourly figure. So for me, I would say it was $150 an hour. So that way, when someone asked me to do something that wasn't necessarily positively working on my purpose, I can say this is what it's going to cost me. Even though there was no tangible money changing hands, there kind of is. And that's the problem. When there's no actual money changing hands, you tend to do things that you think is going to take 5 minutes, and it's always an hour. Come and help me build this bookshelf. It'll take 15 minutes. And then 2 hours later, you guys are still looking at IKEA instructions, wondering where the heck did you go wrong? So you got to learn how to respect that. Next thing we're going to talk about is analog capture. Now, I've said this a couple times in this series, and I know some of you guys are still thinking I'm crazy, but analog capture is the key. You want a notebook, just a notebook. Another thing that I use is I use these little index cards. And the reason why you want to do analog capture is, have you ever been in the middle of doing a task and another thought comes in your head about another task that you have to do, and it causes you to lose focus on the task at hand? That is what's known as a rehearsal loop in your brain. Your brain is still stuck on the fact that you were supposed to call a guy about those tires for your car. So while you're in the middle of taking an important client meeting and you're supposed to be paying attention in the meeting, your brain goes, tires. And all of a sudden, you're not focusing on the presentation. You're not listening to your boss. You're not listening to the guest speaker. You're thinking about, oh my goodness, I got to call up Derek at Firestone or Lex Brody's or wherever you get your tires from. That rehearsal loop is that your brain saw an empty opening as you started to daydream, and it started to remind you of other things that you needed to do, and that completely sidetracked you. That is how you're in the middle of a task and you start doing something else and you never get that task done. That's because you didn't write it down. If you write it down, that frees that headspace up for your brain to let it go, and your brain is not going to remind you. And then when you get to the section where you do your review, which we'll talk about later, you'll be able to go and make sure you get those things done. So it is very important that you write this stuff down. Your brain is made for doing things. It is not made for storing things. Please do not trust your brain, especially when you become of a certain vintage. Also, when you write things down, you just retain more of what you pen. Whatever you write down, your brain just keeps it better. So write it down, and you can absolutely move it into your digital system later. We're not even going to talk about digital system at this moment, but you want to get it out of your head. Listen, this one that I'm going to talk about now and one that I'm going to talk about at the end, I'm going to dare you to try this for 30 days and come back and tell me that you did not see any results, because I don't think it's possible. You want to take that bet? Let's dive in. The next one up is time blocking. Okay, this is really, really simple. I have a system that I call block it, lock it, and rock it. And that is where you take your calendar and you block out a particular section of time. And I call that time, for instance, my create space. This is where I'm going to do creator-oriented things, whether that's studying YouTube videos, editing YouTube videos, scripting YouTube videos. I don't really script, I kind of bullet point, but write things down, answer comments, email back people, set up interviews, record podcasts, whatever. That's in my create space. Nothing can get in the way of that create space. When I block that time belongs to that particular task. Nothing comes up. Someone has to be in ICU in order to get me to move that spot. That is a time block. That is known as my block it, lock it, and rock it. I have a time that I set for studying. I have a time that I set for doing research. I have a time that I set for recovering for my body, whether that's working out, going to the doctors, sleeping, things of that nature. So I know everybody talks about time blocking and nobody really gets into the how-to. I will make a video about how I time block. I am trying to sort of build a better system around the way I block it, lock it, and rock it so I can share it with you. But all you need to do is really, if you use an analog calendar, like a paper calendar, get highlighters and draw boxes in the time where nothing else can go in that spot. And that way, when somebody tries to book an appointment, you're just like, no. The advantage of doing it in your Google Calendar or your Apple Calendar or whatever is no one can try to take a meeting at that time because it's already blocked out. It shows up as busy on the calendar. Again, I'll go deeper into this later, but you must learn to time block. And in the idea of time blocking, you must do the hard things first. When you do the hard things first, it's like if you took a jar and you put the big rocks in, and then you put smaller rocks in, you can kind of shake them and they'll go down. Then you can put the sand in, you shake it and go down. You can add the water. Yeah, same concept. Very similar concept. You want to do the hard things first. Builds momentum, builds confidence, makes you feel better about yourself, and it frees up your brain to let those cells become open to do something else. You will find creativity when you block the time and do the hardest part of it first. Okay? Now, remember, in the time blocking, you got to look back up to the boundary conversation and make sure that you're keeping these boundaries. And this next one, this is gold. I'm going to ask you to lean in, turn up the volume, pause for a second and take a breath. Hit the pause button, take a breath. I want you to hear every inch of what I'm about to say. This is hyper important. The number one conversation that content creators do, and actually any type of work, the number one conversation is,
what if I don't feel like it anymore?
I used to always only come down here and record videos when I was in the mood or when I was feeling creative. You will find, and this just happened literally a couple days ago when I was recording my podcast with my partner in crime, Mary Lou Mandel, and we were saying the shows where we're kind of like, man, we got to get this done. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid. Let's just do it. Those turn out to be the best shows. If you remember your Star Wars, if you remember your Marvel, if you remember Shakespeare, the reluctant hero. The reluctant hero is the champion in all the best stories. Those times when you don't feel like it turns out to be your best video, your best content. Don't know why. I don't know how it happens. Possibly because you're not overthinking it. If I had to give it a reason, it's probably because you're not overthinking it, because you're just trying to get it done. Trust you, me. Doing it when you don't feel like it will give you some of the best results you ever had. That killer video, that number one stunner is when you told perfection to kiss your ass because I just got to get this video done. So trust you, me, do it when you don't feel like it. That is the biggest lesson I've learned over the many, many years of doing just about anything. You ever been to, I don't want to go to this party, blah, 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 and you go there and you meet a long-lost friend, somebody you haven't seen in a while. It's like, oh, lucky Dave dragged me to this party. It's going to be one of those. Or you go to this after-hours thing at work and you don't really want to go, and that's where you probably met your love of your life. Think about it. Somebody in your life right now who's super important to you met at something you didn't feel like doing. Just remember that. Don't let that thought go. Write that junk down in your notebook. That one is a killer. Now I'm going to breathe for a second because this next one is part of that 30-day challenge. Remember where I said earlier that as you are doing your analog capture or your time blocking, this goes in that do this for 30 days and holler back at your boy and tell me that it didn't work. I call this my three-peat. 3 big tasks every single day. Right before I go to sleep the night before, I write down the 3 things that I want to get done the next day. I use this little index card system. When I get up in the morning and I'm doing coffee, I'll transfer it to my calendar and block those areas out because that's part of time blocking. But if you write down on a piece of paper, I like to use index cards so I can see them. I can stick them anywhere. I can also put little notes to the side. Write down the 3 big tasks for every single day and you will find nothing but gangster progress. It ain't nothing but a gangster party. Trust me. This has been the biggest hack in my life ever, is writing down the 3 tasks I got to get done the next day. Let's talk about habit stacking. In order to get good at doing any of this, you're going to have to develop some habits. One of those habits might be walking. While you're walking, listen to the audiobook, right? When you have a task that you do that, say you're busy, you got to take this kid to soccer practice. Tell the kid, listen, bro, I know you want to jam out to Taylor Swift on the way to practice, but I have to listen to this audiobook. I have to listen to this podcast. I have to practice my Japanese. I have to practice my German, whatever you're into, right? You can use Notebook LM to write yourself some educational material for you to listen to you while you're in the car. I want you to take that Spotify subscription and not get rid of it, but use it less in the car. Use that as what we call idle hands learning. Times where your hands are busy doing something else, but not really something that requires a lot of thought. Use that as an opportunity to learn. It works. Listening to audiobook while you're on the treadmill, watching some YouTube videos that are about your business while you're on the treadmill, watching my videos while you're on the treadmill, while you're walking, while you're waiting at the doctor, waiting to pick up the kid after school. Like, learn to sort of habit stack. While you're cleaning the kitchen, have something on that's going to help you progress on your journey. It just helps. I'm always listening to videos while I'm in the house doing random ass things. So habit stack. You don't have to sit down and be fully attentive while you're listening to some of this stuff. This one is near and dear to my heart. I said it 1,000 times in this series. I'm going to probably say it 1,000 times more. You guys are going to get absolutely sick of me. But this one is journal, journal, and journal. I'm going to just keep saying it till I'm blue to the face. Journaling just frees the mind. Free your mind. Journaling frees the mind. It opens up your brain. It gives you a clear path to have better, newer, cleaner thoughts. If those of you who are searching for clarity, it is in the journal that you're not keeping. Trust me, it doesn't have to be a gigantic diatribe. As a matter of fact, you can start out with a 1 sentence a day journal. As a matter of fact, you can start out with a 1 phrase a day journal, because your journal doesn't have to be grammatically correct. You can just say, I learned a lot about productivity today. I'm going to try it. Thank you, Doc. That could be your journal, and that's it. But trust me, getting it out of your brain and tracking your habits, tracking your ideas is just going to make life so much better. Please, 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 please grab a journal, and all you need is a notebook. This particular notebook right here is not really fancy, but it's a wee bit fancy. This is a flat, soft ring notebook. These are from Japan. If you're not like me and you don't go to Japan, you can buy these from Amazon. I believe a 6-pack is like $20, which makes this kind of expensive for journals in the US. But why I like these is the rings are soft, so the book can lay flat on my desk. And this paper, although it looks like regular schoolboy notebook paper, it can handle me writing with my fountain pen. And the reason why I use a fountain pen, it just feels good. And if it feels good, you release the friction. You release the friction, better output. So I like it because I can write in the fountain pen and the ink doesn't bleed through pages. If I were to get a dime store notebook, the ink would bleed through pages. So you don't even need something that's fancy, but something as simple as this. I also think it's weird, something about having this A5 size, because in the US it's not a normal size. It also just, my brain just levitates, resonates. One of those tates. My brain just tates to it. Okay, so there's that. Definitely start your journal. And then last but not least, I think this is important, is you got to start developing your systems. I have lots. Many people have. I've tried other people's systems. They don't necessarily work for me. So you're going to have to kind of find your own. There's lots of things out there you can start with. I'm going to suggest you don't buy any system right away. I'm going to suggest you try to make it your own. My buddy Cat Mulvihill and I talked about some of these Notion programs that were out there and trying to build a Life OS and whatever. And we found that as you try these things, they don't quite fit because your brain doesn't wrap the way the other person wrote that system. Even in something as semi-complicated as Notion, not that complicated, it's better for you to just craft it yourself, because as you craft it yourself, it will work. I am going to create some content around the system that I use, and I've actually changed my system to, I don't want to say dumb it down. I've changed my system to simplify it so I can make it a pretty much no-cost system so that everybody can use it. And one of the challenges I put myself to was to build a system around iOS 18 and macOS Sequoia, because the notes and calendar and reminders is free. And everybody that has these systems have it. If you happen to be a Droid person, you have the Google Calendar and Google Notes, Google Tasks, I believe is what their reminders app is called. And it's the same thing. You'd be able to do this for absolutely free. Once you get good at those things, then you can kind of get into something that's, let's say, a paid system that's a little bit more fancy. But you got to get the baseline system down, and The system needs to be easily adaptable, easily adjustable, and able to be moved. If you use one of those platforms that could close at any minute, you got to be able to get your stuff in and out. But again, I'll make a dedicated video around these systems over the next couple of days because there's some tips that I think can help you when it comes to capturing everything with your analog capture and moving it into your notes, and we'll get more into that. So I'm going to just give a quick rundown, and then we're going to call it a day. Got to get buy-in. Most of all, buy-in from yourself. You need to learn to set boundaries. Give yourself a $1 per hour structure. I'm going to suggest you start at 100 so that when somebody wants to take your time away from doing this, you can tell them and yourself it's basically costing you $100 an hour to do whatever they want to do, and see if they still want you to do it. You're going to want to start analog capture, pen and paper. Pen and paper. It just works. Okay. Use old scratch paper. Use the back of some old bills. Use whatever you need to do to get your notebook going. Don't go out and buy anything fancy. Just get in the habit of doing that. And trust you me, you write this stuff down for 30 days, you'll be good. Time blocking. Do the hard things first. Block it, lock it, and rock it. Make a hole in your calendar. Don't let anybody else get in there, and use that time to create. Use that time to answer emails. Use that time to progress your business. And remember, while you're time blocking it, the I don't feel like it days are probably going to be your best content, so don't be scared of them. Dive in. Three-Peat, grab yourself some index cards or your notebook, even your phone, and give yourself those 3 big tasks for the day and try to get those done and stick to them. If you got to move one to the next day, it's fine, but stick to 3. That complicated, miles long. Who'd ever seen a miles long to-do list and get nothing did? It's too long. Do 3. Start with 3. When you get dope, you can change it to 4. Right now, start with 3. Just get your 3 big tasks for the day done and call it a day. And then there's habit stacking. When there's things that you're trying to do, whether that's improving your fitness or reading more or whatever, try to stack those things together with something else that you need to do. And definitely learn to adjust your idle hands, that instead of 30 minutes watching TikTok, let's turn that into 30 minutes studying how to be a better creator. And it is nothing wrong. Let me finish the list. I'm going to come back to this. Hold this spot. This is a placeholder. We call it asterisk. Okay. Journal. Get yourself a notebook and start journaling. Trust me, that one will change everything. Last but not least, you're going to build your systems. And for right now, kind of build it on your own. You can look at some other people's systems, write down what you like. That's what the analog capture will do. And then go build yourself something around that. I'll show you how to build with all the free stuff that's built into your phone, but start to build your system, and we will help you. If you have questions about systems, holler at your boy. I've tried them all. I've literally tried them all. So ask questions in the comments. I'll help you. Now I want to run back to the asterisk. Sorry for that. What is that called? A coda. Return to coda. Incoming. I am the super anti blame your device for your distractions person. I understand why people say that, and I understand why it's become so popular, but the number one reason why you don't know how to use your device to its fullest potential is because you keep blaming your device for the reason why you can't do X. You're blaming your device for being mad at the world because social media is a hellhole. You're blaming your device because your kids won't talk to you at the dinner table, or your friends and family, when you go out, they're always looking down. I learned this a while back, and it really changed my life. I had a mentor that told me to stop saying negative things about rich people. And I was like, why? Most of them are assholes. And he goes, yeah, but because you feel that way and you being a good person, you don't want to become an asshole. Correct? Saying things like money is the root of all evil will stop you from getting money. So in the same vein, when you're always saying that your phone is a distraction, when you're always saying that your phone is taking you away from this, or your kids won't listen because of this, and society is ruined because everybody has their head down on their phone, that's why you don't know how to use it. And so one of the most powerful productivity tools ever invented in mankind is an enemy to you. The reason why you don't like tech is because somebody told you tech was scary, because somebody told you that the hackers were going to come in and steal your life. Right now, the reason why you're not excelling at AI is because somebody told you that AI is going to steal your job. You about to lose your job. Say what? No. If you think of these things as negative, you will lose. I'm not saying they're 100% positive. Neither is a car. A car kills more people than a whole bunch of stuff. But you know what we all do? Jump in the whip, arm Schwarzenegger from the whipping. Sugar kills more people than damn near anything in this country besides the word I can't say on YouTube.
Pew, pew, pew.
But some of y'all got a candy bar and a Coke on your desk. We always talk about the scary stuff while we ignore the stuff that's actually dangerous. It is a distraction. That is a distraction. People telling you not to get good at your phone are maybe telling you this to keep you in your place. So please stop trash talking your device. Let's learn how to use it so that it works for you. Soapbox over. I wasn't expecting to do that part, but I did that part. And now that I did it, it's up in there. It's up in there. It's out here on the internet for the whole world to see. This has been another video in my Nice and No Nice to Have November series where I talk to you about the things I wish I knew and the things I wish I had when I started my content creation journey. This video and all the videos in this series, there's a bunch. Go watch them. Sponsored by me. I'm Doc. I'm the creator of Doc Pops, these wonderful acoustic memory foam covers that you put on your microphone that not only make you look good, they make you sound good. You can find out more about them at docmerch.com or docpops.com. I'll put the links down in the description. Also, there's a little shopping shelf here on YouTube that you can go and check out yourself. Right about now, Funk Soul Brother, YouTube algorithm is going to show you a video they think you should watch. And I absolutely agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet.